Taoiseach, last week I was contacted by a very nice man I met many years ago who informed me that he was previously in the army and that was a victim of sexual abuse at the hands of an officer over many years. About 20 years ago he took a High Court case where, although the sexual abuse was acknowledged, finding the army culpable was not accepted at that time by the court. Now, since then we've had the Women of Honour inquiry, which has highlighted, if you like, the widespread systemic nature of abuse, sexual and others, in the Defence Forces, and we've got an inquiry coming long over time. But the question that my friend has asked is, will that inquiry, because he wants it to be, extend to not only abuse suffered by women, but also sexual and other abuse suffered by men? And I think it's a very reasonable request, and he would be very keen to hear the government's answer, because he deserves justice for the terrible abuse and suffering that he had inflicted on him.
Thank you, Deputy Boyd Barrett. Taoiseach.
Thank the deputies again for their questions. The work and report of the Independent Review Group into Dignity and Equality in the Defence Forces has raised very profound issues relating to culture and unacceptable behaviour. The value of the report has been demonstrated by the widespread report for its recommendations and the universal reaction of shock and dismay at its contents and conclusions. What's now vital is that we quickly build on the work of the review, and a statutory inquiry is the logical, necessary next step. The Taoiseach Minister of Defence has obtained government approval to establish an independent judge-led statutory inquiry. It will investigate whether there have been serious systemic failures in the complaint system in the Defence Forces in relation to interpersonal issues, including but not limited to sexual misconduct. My understanding is that it will apply to men and women. I'll double check that, but that is my understanding. The Taoiseach intends to bring forward terms of reference for this inquiry as soon as is possible, and to this end I understand the process of engagement with stakeholders has commenced. The Taoiseach has met with all relevant partners, including the Women of Honour, the Women and Men of Honour, PD4, RACO and the Veterans Association, and he'll continue to do so. I'm advised that their observations and suggestions on the draft terms, provided them recently, are awaited. The Taoiseach is also in consultation with the Attorney-General on the appointment of a judge or retired judge to lead this inquiry, and he intends to bring a nomination to the Government in the coming weeks. Just in relation to the defence and security policy question that was raised, again, I can be very clear at the House. The Government has no plans whatsoever to apply for NATO membership. We are NATO partners through the Partnership for Peace and have been for a very long time, and that will continue. And we will continue to be involved in PESCO, which is the European Union's common security and defence policy, which I believe is to our benefit and to the benefit of our security. One thing you're absolutely right about, I've never been a supporter of the triple lock, and I've never pretended to be a supporter of the triple lock. I remember how it came about. I can't remember whether it was the Lisbon Treaty or whether it was the Nice Treaty, but a conspiracy theory was spun by people on the left that if people voted for the Lisbon Treaty, that there'd be an EU army and that we might be conscripted into it. And long before the social media world, there were conspiracy theories that people took seriously, and as part of the response to that absurd, untrue and provenly untrue conspiracy theory perpetrated by some people at the time, neither of those things have happened, and I don't believe it's appropriate. I don't believe it's appropriate that we should allow Russia or China or Britain or France or America to decide whether or not we send troops on missions over abroad. That should be a decision for government and for the Dáil.
Thank you.